Hello, and welcome to the Great Game Debate Podcast, where friends come together to talk about video games and our lives. As always, I'm your host, Kaden Barrett Lane, and I just want to go ahead and start off by welcoming back our dear friend and co-panelist, Steven Beaumont, our man in Australia. How you doing, buddy? It's been months. The time change, it killed us.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back, mate. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for having me.
it'd be great to have your energy back on the pod. We are also joined by our man in the closet, Wes Bates. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Hey, I'm doing a new thing here, so I'm gonna start every podcast with a completely useless video game trivia fact.
Love it.
So here's your useless trivia fact for this show. So Breath of the Wild has so much detail in it that there's actually a sound effect for a bokoblin picking their nose. I don't know if you knew this, but this is absolutely true. There is
Did
a
not
sound
know.
effect for bokoblins picking their nose. But that leads me to the question: should they have actually called them boogoblins?
Oh my god,
they're-
100% yes. Wow, incredible. And of course, we're joined by the godfather of the Great Game Debate himself, because we literally could not do the podcast without his recording and editing skills, Jonah Gomez. How you doing, buddy?
I am here and I am ready to podcast, and you know what? I'm pretty excited for our guests this week. Both
That's
of them, I
right.
guess.
Well, we do have the honor this week of being joined by our guest, Travis of the Draft Punks. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Hey.
I'm super excited to be here. Happy to be recording a podcast,
Yeah, it's
It's going to
great.
be a very good time. Y'all are a lovely bunch.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's
Welcome to the
a
show.
pleasure to have you on. Yeah, we've had this little cross-pollination between Great Game Debate and Draft Punks podcast, so it's great to keep that going.
We finally have the final punk.
The
Yes.
collection is complete.
Yeah,
It's taking time, but
I've been listening to the Rob and Ryan episode, and Ryan kind of an honorary punk as well. So you've had the whole lot now.
the trifecta is complete.
All right. Well, I'll just jump right into it. I hope you guys stopped by the Snow Peak Mountain Smithy and picked up your razor sword, because it's time for the Icebreaker. All right. We didn't even tell Travis that he should punch the camera, but he did it anyway because he's that much of a natural.
Bam.
All right, Travis. Well, we of course like to do a short little interview with our guests on the podcast to get to know you a little better. But I am just curious for you personally. You're one-fourth of the Draft Punks. How did you kind of get involved with that?
So Brian came to me with the idea like during the beginnings of the pandemic, when everyone was talking about starting a podcast.
Yep.
And
We don't know anybody like that.
yeah, and we talked about the draft idea some. I brought the idea of the community voting and the winner getting
All
first
right.
draft pick, which I stole directly from a website called The Takeout that does a food draft every week, and they have people vote or like on Twitter or something in a poll. And yeah, I shamelessly stole that idea, but hey, it works. And then the months went by, and he would say, "Yeah, I'm still thinking about it." And finally, we decided to ask Rob to join as the third, and then recorded our first episode about the MCU, and we put out an episode a week for over a year. But then we're on kind of a hiatus right now.
Sure.
Because Brian is a new father, which is awesome. My work
Yay.
schedule
Congratulations.
changed, and my work schedule changed a lot, and
Yeah.
so we're in kind of a holding pattern for right now, but we have an amazing community that I mean, that's the best part, I think, of the podcast, is having a community to hang out with. And there's still a lot of chatter going on in the Discord, so I still, I, at least still feel connected in that kind of way. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're a pandemic podcast, the double P.
You guys do have
Mhm.
an amazing community.
Yeah,
I have to
Yeah.
give you guys all the credit in the world, because you have such a, just engaged group of people, and everybody's super friendly and just obviously happy to be there and to be part of the group, and always very welcoming. I don't stop in there as much as I should, but I do like to pop in every now and then, and
Mhm.
people are always
Yeah.
like happy to see me and talk to me, and it's really nice.
Yeah, we love to see you, and I really feel like you guys have a great community here, and it really shows that you get in, like, you get the energy that you put in is what you
Mhm.
get back from your community, right? Like, especially at the kind of size we are, these people really vibe with what you're doing,
yeah,
right? And that allows for the least toxic places on the internet, I
Mhm.
think. And so yeah.
yeah, for
All
sure.
right, sweet. Well, for our guest Travis, Wes usually goes out and does a little bit of recon on their personal information that we like to needle you
Yeah,
about. But
Brian told me,
sure,
actually.
Oh no, I'm
spill
building
the
a rep.
beans. We can't trust Brian anymore, Wes.
No, Brian actually told me what you asked him about me, so
Oh,
you can't trust that guy with anything.
Yeah.
All right, he's off
Well,
my list.
the questions are relatively innocuous.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw you a softball. Oh, do you have something you want to jump into?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, I will not debate Hades versus Spelunky 2. I simply
Okay,
will not.
leave that one out.
Yeah, I decided not to throw
Um,
that one out there. So
sure,
maybe
sure.
a different guest. We can bring that back up.
I love all my children equally.
Mhm. Well, one of the points Wes came back to us with was your personal favorite console is the Nintendo 64. And, Nintendo 64 online service for the Switch is kind of a hot button topic right now. So just kind of wondering if you've had the time to jump in and check that out at all.
I have not, but
Yeah.
I would love to talk about the fact that Winback Covert Operations is one of the
Oh,
games
okay.
that they brought,
Yeah.
because I had Winback Covert Operations on the N64,
Nice.
and I have
Wow.
extremely fond memories of it. Definitely, like, my first experience in a tank controlled shooter, because I didn't have a PlayStation, so I had never like played Resident Evil or anything.
Mm,
Which I believe Winback also came out on the PS2, if I'm not
okay.
mistaken. But yeah, that is the thing that's making me like think about picking up NSO more than anything. And
Right.
also, what's the other like not super famous game that came out?
Not sure,
I
personally.
think it's a bullet hell game though.
Oh,
And
Sin of
it's
Sin and
Son of the
Punishment.
Enders?
yeah,
Oh,
Sin and Punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hear really good things. I like
Mhm.
bullet hell games, so like those are the two things more than anything. And then
Mhm.
Majora's Mask coming eventually, because that's
Yeah.
Of course.
extremely high on my favorite games of all time
Mhm.
I
list.
thought you were.
Build
we'll
that.
I
probably
thought you were
talk
doing
about,
like a
so.
little joke, and you're like, "Oh, you know that super famous game that's not
Dead
known. You
serious.
know, Ocarina of Time. You know,
Oh,
got a little,
see,
a
and
little.
that's what Brian threw at me when I, said I wasn't like super jazzed about it or anything. It's like, I've played through Ocarina so many times.
Yeah.
Like, Majora's is like more attractive to me, but like, yeah, Ocarina, like, I never got super into Mario 64, and I have the 3D All Stars collection. So if I really wanted to play
Mhm.
Mario 64, I'd go play that version,
Play the
because that's
up-res
apparently like,
version.
well, apparently it's like the same emulation that they're using on the version on NSO or something like that. So
Now we know why they were limiting how like their sales on it is because they're like, oh, we're just gonna give it to everyone later in the year.
oh, there you go. There you go. I do wish I had gotten one of them controllers, the
Mhm.
N64 controllers, because
Yeah, I got two.
did
Nice.
you?
Yeah.
How
I got
good how do the sticks feel? I mean,
Insanely good, because I thought that would be the thing that they would fall off with, because I've aftermodded a fair few 64 controllers with GameCube analog
Gates.
sticks, and they're way too sensitive, and so these they probably don't have as big of a dead zone as like a brand new Nintendo 64 controller would, but it's enough that it works and it feels right. So yeah, it doesn't feel like it's going to be too difficult to do like very sensitive movement. And like my son and I played as well online. We just decided, because even though we could play it on the couch, I've got the family pack, and so we tried it out with him on his Switch Lite and me on my Switch. And it ran fine, like online. I was thinking, it's going to be a bit jank, but like Mario Kart 64 worked perfectly. So
What did your son?
Right.
Oh, he's probably seen an N64 controller before, huh?
yeah,
Maybe it was the
it's
father,
funny
yeah.
because before we had our second kid, I had it set up in where the nursery is now, and so like he was playing like. I had like Winnie the Pooh's Adventure or something like that. It's like, or Tigger's Adventure or something. Because I bought a heap of 64 games back in the day. But yeah, but he's enjoying Mario Kart 64. He's enjoying Yoshi's Story and stuff. So it's been
Reason
worth
I'm
it
right.
just for that. Yeah.
Well, did three of you guys have any burning questions for Travis before we move on?
I have a question. So, Travis, I think you the folks that know you relatively well know kind of how into music you are.
Oh,
You're very well known for your deep cuts in music on your podcast, and I was just curious. I haven't heard you talk a whole lot about video game music. So I was just curious, what is your favorite video game soundtrack?
1 second.
All right.
Wes,
Steven,
you
do have
Stepping
a
are
away.
hit to fill
Wes.
the dead
I've
airwaves?
driven away our guest.
Wes, you are treading some dangerous waters, bringing up music with both Steven and I on here, and Travis, because
Uh-oh.
Steven and I have talked about
Change
some
course.
of Travis's picks on their music drafts and stuff.
This
Whoa,
is
what am I looking at?
Castlevania 3.
Ooh,
Oh,
look at that
that is
art.
sick.
Holy.
Oh, I love that.
Audio listeners, jump on the YouTube video right now and come look at this artwork.
I love
It
that.
comes
That's
on
amazing.
2 vinyls. One is the Famicom sound version, and one is the NES sound version. So you get to really hear the differences between the sound chips.
Oh, that's so
Wow.
sick.
That is really cool.
That's vinyl.
So this is probably my favorite individual game soundtrack. There's like a mini bosses Castlevania 3 song. Mini bosses are a video game music cover band. That's like one of the most hyped things I've ever heard in my life. And so when Mondo put this out, I got this one. But this is my favorite like game soundtrack package that I own. This is
man, that artwork is
Metroid,
so
Metroid
cool.
2, and Super Metroid.
That's
Oh
really
my
cool.
god. And this
Wow.
is like a parody of the Velvet Underground album cover. This is actually a sticker.
That's funny.
Yeah, and it's got this
Oh my
man.
god, that's so
Wow.
sick.
So do you?
yeah, I'm a big fan of video game music.
Nice. Well, bravo on your
Confirmed.
choices, sir.
Confirmed.
Bravo.
Yeah,
I
for real.
cannot fault you there.
As far
So
as
Jen-
modern stuff, Celeste.
Oh, okay.
That's good. I have that downloaded on my phone. Really good.
Scattered and Lost is
Lena Rain, yeah.
so good.
All right.
Go play
So you-
Moonlight Bay.
After the show, Travis, you, me, and Steven are gonna have a massive music discussion because Steven and I have some thoughts about opinions that you've shared.
Do you agree that lo-fi hip hop beats is smooth jazz for millennials?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yes,
wow,
that's a take that I've brought out on the show a couple of times. That
That's not a very hot take. That's actually very accurate. It's
no,
like,
it's
yeah,
super accurate. Yeah, I love that. I love
the
that.
moment I said it, everyone was like,
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's quite an
True.
insight.
So, do you collect vinyl, or do you just have a select few albums?
I'm kind of particular in what I have. I mean, when I went to shows a lot, I would buy vinyls at the shows because I like, in a way, they're kind of art pieces.
Mm,
Yeah.
100%.
And then I pick things up on a basis of if they're like things that I like to listen to the full album of. Most of the time. So I have a very curated collection, definitely.
Beautiful. Nice.
But yeah, I like
Very
music.
amazing.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, great question, Wes. All right. Well, I think I will turn things over to the judge, Jonah Gomez, to get the debate kicked off.
We got a spicy one today. We got something that's a little near and dear to my heart. We're going to be talking about Zelda, but not just Zelda games. We're going to be talking about weapons, items, masks, clothing, anything you can think of itemized in a Zelda game in our debate today. Today we have Wes and Steven representing Link Between Worlds and all the items in that game versus Caden and Travis representing Majora's Mask.
Shocking
Oh.
the world / the people who have been listening to the beginning of this podcast.
And you know what? This kind of is a battle of the sequels as well, since both these games are direct sequels from
Very interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
I
so
hadn't thought of that.
Not so
It just
smooth
kind of worked
brain
out
Jonah.
that way.
yeah.
No, we planned it. We absolutely planned it that way.
We totally planned it that way. As always, we'll start out with our opening statements, which will be Caden and Wes, right?
Ready. I'm ready.
No?
No.
Is
Nope,
it Caden
nope,
and
nope.
Steven?
We didn't really talk about who's doing what.
Oh, God.
So Steven's doing the opening. Caden, are you doing the opening?
Yeah.
Well, it appears our opponents have come unprepared, Travis. We shall pounce upon their weakness.
No, I said we as a group collectively did not go
Oh.
through who was doing what.
Hey, me
Oh.
and Travis decided who was doing what. I don't know about you
Oh,
guys.
Never
okay.
mind.
Well,
I'm
then-
Never
opening.
mind.
I'm opening.
Never mind. This
Well,
is
I
then
understand what you're saying, Wes. I understand what you're saying.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
It's Steven versus Caden for the opening, and then the rebuttal will be Travis versus Wes.
Right.
Then
Who's doing the closing?
Because we're doing a split. We're doing a split rebuttal.
Oh, yeah,
no,
we're-
you just
Yeah.
no. That makes
Just
it
call it-
complicated.
Call
That-
us at a minute. No, it doesn't. Just call us at a minute so we can switch.
No.
You don't
Easy
have to
peasy.
produce the show.
It's not that hard. We
Jonas
planned it this
decided.
way. Just let us
1
run with
minute.
it, man.
Just
Let us
tell
run
us
with it.
1 minute.
So then who's doing the closing thoughts?
I will.
Yeah. Easy
Okay.
peasy.
Okay.
Just
Caden,
math.
we didn't
It's
talk
split-
about
Yeah,
It's
we didn't
split-
talk about it.
It's
Shall we
split evenly in half.
I think it'll be a game time decision based on how the opening and the rebuttal go.
All right. Well, now
Okay.
I have to scrap all of this because
Do you?
yes, I might put
People
it in
like
at the
to
end.
hear how the sausage
I
gets
think they
made.
do.
Dude.
I think we should
People
keep it
love
in.
to hear
It's
how
fun.
the sausage gets made.
Fine, I'll keep it in, but like
Yes.
okay, and
Just
then
let it
Let's go.
soak.
Let's go.
what we usually do for the closing thoughts is 1 minute each person, but I guess it'll be
Oh, okay. No, that
We're just-
makes sense. That
Yeah.
sounds
We're
good.
just
That
doing
sounds
1
like a
minute
plan.
each person for the rebuttal. It's no different.
okay.
Yeah, we're just switching up. Add a bit of spice, bud.
I'm not even gonna do
Alright.
the coin flip because
Ah.
you guys are making it easier for me to decide. Caden, would you like to start or go last?
Let's go.
Oh, bullshit.
Blazing,
First or
go
last? Okay.
First.
You just said let's
LFG,
go.
baby. LFG.
Oh my god, this is already a mess. I love it. All right. Caden, I got 2 minutes on the clock. Are you ready, sir?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
And I got one word for you, baby. Masks. Majora's Mask, just like, holy crap. Like, it's got your traditional Zelda items. You got bombs, you got the hookshot, you got arrows, you got bottles, but masks. And like, okay, 3 of these masks are key items you need to progress through the game. And it's not just like a tool you use, like as an implement. It's like it literally transforms you into an entirely new being with different capabilities and a play style. Like, you can roll through the lava as a Goron, you can swim through the ocean as a Zora, you can fly through the sky as a Deku Scrub. It's beautiful. And then the mystery, like when you're playing a regular Zelda game, you just get an item, you're like, okay, I think I know where this is going with this item. But when you get a mask in Majora's Mask, it's like a hawk face with feather wings, or like a bunny tiara with bunny ears, or like a freaky like mummy mask, and you're like, I don't even know what this is gonna do. I have to go explore and experiment, and it's just incredible. And you've got unconventional items. For example, the Great Fairy sword is an optional superpowered sword you can get if you collect all the fairies in a particular temple, and it has this great utility where it bypasses being cursed by an enemy and not being able to attack with your sword, because it's technically not a sword, it's an item, so the curse doesn't affect it. And you gotta bring it home with the Fierce Dieting Link mask, where if you take the trouble to collect all the masks in the game, you get an item that literally turns you into a god that just crushes the final boss and no competition. Like, what a power trip. Bravo. What can you say?
Very good.
I can say a lot.
Sure you could. All right, Steven, you got 2 minutes on the clock. Or should I just do 3 minutes?
Yeah, you probably should, actually.
No, I'm not going to do that. You got 2 minutes on the clock for your opening statement. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready. Get your itchy trigger on the expletive button, because we get wild in here probably.
3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, A Link Between Worlds, lads. If we want to talk about great items in a video game, first of all, we can't go any further before we talk about Ravio, our main lad that's helping us out on our journey. This dude, so what? Yeah, he squatted in your house, but guess what? He's going to lend you all of his items, free of charge. What an absolute gem. At the start of the game, you can go wherever you want with these items. All the special Zelda items that you want, free of charge. What an absolute gem. He's just that dude that's like, here, you can borrow my Season of Lost, and you can watch it. But if you scratch it, yeah, you're going to have to pay for it. But he's been a good bloke. Whereas, think about the Happy Mask Salesman. Happy Mask Salesman, don't you mean, he's a bit of a dog of a bloke. I wouldn't want to hang out with him. But Ravio, he's got my back, he's looking out for us. And in A Link Between Worlds, we've got not only all of the great Zelda items that work as they should work, because it's on a 2D plane, and they just work, no Z triggers, no camera messing up, it just works. So, in this game, you've got the greatest item ever, which is Ravio's bracelet. You can literally meld into a wall, and you can see this top-down perspective from a whole new side-on perspective and find secrets, because you are a
30
painting,
seconds.
and you can go and walk around the environments and find amazing secrets that couldn't be done any other way. Not only that, you can... Oh my god, I gotta go quicker. You can upgrade every single one of these items. You go to this octopus lady, and just like your first blowjob, you chuck them into her mouth, and guess what? You come out changed. These items come out changed. They've changed because they've upgraded. That's what A Link Between Worlds does. It upgrades everything.
Wow.
I told you in 3 minutes.
I also just want to appreciate the Australian phrase "dog of a bloke," which I'd never heard before. Good stuff.
See, now I'm worried because I haven't played Link Between Worlds, and Caden looks like he's got some thoughts on Ravi.
Oh,
Like-
yeah. I wish.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I could talk
but
some
we
shit.
might
I
have
could
to
talk some
split
bad
for.
shit.
Okay, we're not changing this up anymore. Or
Yeah.
You're right.
I know.
You're right.
I
No,
just
was joking.
you snapped up rebuttals so fast. I thought you had some.
It's
bullets for
because
the
I
table,
just
but-
love crushing other people's opinions, and
Okay.
then I only later thought about the fact that I don't know much about Link Between Worlds.
Oh,
I'm
all
glad
right.
that you
I
had.
got some things to say. I got some things to say based on what was said.
I'm glad you had the time to do some research, and you're just like, nah, I'm just gonna crush it.
Oh, I did some research.
Oh, okay.
What do you think? Why do you think my face got all white for a while there? Because I opened a new Chrome tab, right?
All right, Travis, I got 2 minutes on the clock. Are you ready to go?
I am ready.
Okay.
I am ready.
3, 2, 1, debate.
So you're telling me that none of these items have any story behind them for you? You just get them from a guy and that's it? Every single mask you get in Majora's Mask has a heartfelt story behind it. If you go through the task to get the wedding couple's mask, you have seen some shit, you have seen some sad stuff, and you have made the happiest things happen. Just for this one item, you end up with 3 masks total just for this one quest line. And you're telling me you love the items from a game where some guy just hands them to you? You upgrade things by tossing him to an octopus? Have you ever won a Goron race before, my friend? You've got spikes coming out of your body. You gotta break the magic pots just to get the gold dust. This might be my favorite single just quest line item in a Zelda game, by the way. The gold dust that you have to take to the smithy to turn your sharpened your razor sword into a gilded sword. That's not just some octopus that you lob stuff at, It's and let's see what else. A bracelet that lets you pick up stuff. What if you got a mask that turned you into stone?
30
Right?
seconds.
I mean, seriously though, what's up with these rented items? It just seems silly. And how do you get the Master Sword level 3? You toss it into a pool. You just toss it into a pool, right? Again, that's what this said. Caden said no? Okay. No. Okay. There's no heart behind these items. That's my closing.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Oh man.
My
So
favorite
tell me
quote
about
was,
the Master Sword level 3.
And apologies to audio listeners. That was not Beastie Boys distortion on purpose. It was Travis getting a little bit excited.
All right, Wes. You've got.
No, Steven's got a minute, then me.
Do you want the first minute or you want second minute?
You
No.
take the first minute, please.
All right.
no. We're
I hate this. I hate this so much. Steven, you've got a minute on the clock. Ready, set, go.
All right. So, first of all, let's just talk a little bit about the dangers of online dating and catfishing. And Majora's Mask is completely chock-a-block full of catfishing. That's all Link does. He keeps on pretending he's other people. People keep on getting confused that he's someone that's dead. Someone, I'm gonna just put on this like cow mask, and all of a sudden I'm gonna go crash a wedding wearing a cow mask.
30 seconds.
What are you doing, dude? Leave it alone. And let's not talk about just the terrible Goron trials, the terrible Zora trials. Just like the Urukai says, We've been eating maggoty bread for 3 stinking days. Not gonna do it anymore. No way. And let alone the fact that you lose all of your bombs and all of your arrows whenever you revert back to the first day. Oh.
Okay.
Wow,
So
I didn't even have to like censor him. It just cut out.
Yeah, that's interesting.
All right, Wes, you've got your minute. Go.
Okay, so Majora's Mask gives you tons of masks, but only a few of them are actually useful for gameplay. You've got the general ones for transformations, but most of them are relegated to quest items, or they're relatively useless. Talk about things like marching with chickens, doing stupid dances, looking in mailboxes, or listening to stories. That's what the majority of the masks in Majora's Mask grant you the ability to do. Also, tons of the masks are creepy as F, man. Link puts them on and he screams in horror and pain. I feel like I have PTSD every time I watch him put on a mask and transform. It's freaking creepy, man. And every time he puts the Deku mask on, he looks like he wants to freaking kill himself. He's so sad. There's actually also very few unique items that aren't in other Zelda games other than the masks. The only 2 exceptions are basically magic beans and powder kegs. Big deal. Use them about twice in the game. It's not very impressive.
Time.
Magic beans are in Ocarina too.
Yeah. Don't give him more ammunition, Trev.
Okay. Well, that was a rebuttal section, I suppose. We'll go into the closing thoughts. Travis, Caden, you each get a minute. Wes, I guess you get 2. Because, you know, there aren't rules to these kinds of things. So, Caden, or which one of you wants to go first?
I'll go first so I can do a little bit.
Oh, so
yeah.
You're gonna keep it in order. Thank you. I appreciate that. Caden, 1 minute on the clock. Ready, set, go.
All right, here's the deal. There's a fundamental flaw in a Link. Man, I went full Joe Biden just then. Here's the deal. Anyway, lose the time. Okay, I gotta regroup. So, because the way the items are structured in A Link Between Worlds, you can get them at any time and tackle the dungeons in any order. It forced the developers in a way to design all the dungeons to be the same difficulty, since you could do them in any order, and that difficulty is easy as hell, and so the game's just like not really challenging, whereas you will find buckets of challenge in Majora's Mask.
15 seconds.
But I just want to say quality over quantity in Majora's Mask. I'd rather have the 3 transformation masks in Majora's Mask over all the items that Link gets in any other Zelda game. There you go.
Very nice. All right, Travis, are you ready? You go. 1 minute on the clock. Ready, set, go.
Why would you wear flippers when you could become flippers? You know, why would you need a horse-shaped motorcycle to ride around when you could just become a wheel? You know, these are questions that Zelda Majora's Mask dared to answer, and they answered it brilliantly. I spent hours just swimming in that race against the beavers because the swimming as Azura felt so delightful to me. I've never enjoyed the movement in a Zelda game before or since in the way that I enjoy moving.
Okay. Whoa. Major foul. Really, Steven? Really? You're interrupting somebody else's debate? Ooh.
Yes. Hopefully this won't influence the decision making of the council when determining a winner. You know,
we'll see. I'm gonna give you an extra 15 seconds.
Okay.
You've got 30 seconds on the clock,
right.
Travis. Go ahead.
Thanks, Steven.
And continue your closing thoughts, since you were so rudely interrupted.
Also, the Fierce Deity Mask is probably my favorite single item in any Zelda game. It gives Link the coolest character design that Link has ever had, and the coolest sword that Link has ever had at the same time, while bringing back the beam shooting mechanic from the OG Zelda game. That's it.
Cool.
Steven.
Now that we're out of the debate, like, wouldn't it be
We're
cool to
not
have
out
like
of the debate.
We're not out of the
We're
debate.
not out of the debate.
Aren't we? Oh, fuck.
No.
No, confused yourself by splitting your rebuttal.
Yeah. All right, Wes, you have 2 minutes on the clock. I'm sorry you decided to partner up with Steven.
He's taking us both down with a ship.
Yeah, I guess. Oh man, 2 minutes on the clock. Ready, set, go.
Okay, so I just want to start off. Link does look cool as hell with the Fierce Deity Mask. What I will say about the Great Deity Sword, it's the strongest sword in the game, but you can only use it in boss fights. It's actually only really relegated to the final boss fight, because you don't have it until the very end of the game. So while it's really useful for taking down the final boss easily, it's really not useful for much more than that. So, I just want to touch really quickly on some of the more unique items from A Link Between Worlds. Let's talk about rods. There's 2 unique rods that can only be found in A Link Between Worlds. The first is the sand rod, which allows you to create pillars of sand to kind of move through areas and create platforms that you couldn't otherwise move through. You can also use your Ravio's bracelet to kind of like move along the edge of the sand pillars that you create. It's very cool. The second of which, excuse me, is the tornado rod, which has several really cool uses. Number one, it allows you to kind of like use it as a helicopter propeller to like lift yourself up to different areas. And it's also really useful for solving puzzles by like putting out extinguishing fires. And it's also really useful in combat because it pushes enemies backwards with the tornado that it creates, and it stuns them, giving you the opportunity to go in and attack.
30 seconds.
There's also the fire and ice rods, which reappear from A Link to the Past. As Steven mentioned, all of the items in the game are upgradable. So you can upgrade your bow to shoot 3 arrows at a time. You can throw 3 boomerangs at a time. The game has upgradable armor, so you can get both the blue and red tunics, which cut the damage you take in half. It also has a bee badge, which allows you to carry bees and bottles that you can throw and attack enemies.
I wanted to hear more about the bee badge.
All right.
You're muted, Travis. You're muted.
I just want to point out I only said the Fierce Deity sword was the coolest looking sword, not that it was the strongest.
Wow, what a legendary debate, guys. Just give it up for yourselves.
One for the record books.
What an event.
Yeah, it's going to be one
for all the
record
wrong
books.
reasons.
I just want to say, I think Travis's quote about why would you want to ride around on a horse-shaped motorcycle when you could become a wheel is probably like the greatest quote that's ever been on this podcast. Like,
That's good.
Yeah, that is that was some next level stuff right there. Thank you, Travis, for that fantastic quote.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Well, hopefully, friends and folks and whoever's listening to this, we can get the show back on the rails since I guess everyone kind of took it off the rails.
yeah.
Last thing to say, I just need to
God.
say this. I missed out because it slipped my mind through the rebuttal is the fact that like I wanted to pay out on the bunny hood and its effect on Smash Melee, and like how much I hate the bunny hood and how much it just hurts my enjoyment of Smash because it's just like especially if you're a quick character, it's just like you're going too quick. Like with the bunny hood.
Well, that's cool. That thought does not count towards the debate, so nobody cares.
Too bad that
And
you didn't
also,
mention
that was in Ocarina of Time first. The bunny hood.
Yeah.
Was in
So
Ocarina of Time
but
first.
Blame Ocarina of Time.
But it's specifically not in A Link Between Worlds, which has the best items, as everyone knows, obviously.
The debate's over.
The debate's
These
over.
statements can
So
be
any of
considered.
your thoughts are nonsense, which I will.
Jonah's
continue to say.
Jonah's gonna put his mask of truth on, and
Also in A Link Between Worlds.
Anyway, I guess it's time for me to decide who had a better debate. And while I appreciate Steven and Wes trying to change things up on me,
Obviously, you don't appreciate it very much. Because
yeah, that was the
clearly not.
you say it in a
sarcasm.
very snarky way. So.
Jesus. Oh, this is gonna be a fun one to edit. My personal pick for the winner is gonna be Majora's Mask. The whole quote of "Why would you ride a motorcycle when you can become the wheel" kind of sealed it for me. But you guys also kept the structure of the debate, so thank you. I appreciate that.
That's not fair. That's not
No,
fair.
I thought they brought better points. I did.
The point thing is fine, but don't hold the structure against us.
Steven also fouled, so
Yeah.
The community will decide.
the community will decide. And speaking of the community deciding, we have our results from our Castlevania debate with Brad Ellis. We had Igavanias versus Classic Vanias, and the winner was 7-3 Igavanias. Congratulations, Wes.
as it should be.
Our man West. Our man West.
Well, at least
Nice
I won
work.
something today.
Yeah.
No one likes being knocked backwards into a pit. Like, I'm
True.
sorry.
That's why like putting it on easy on like Curse of the Moon is
Curse
so
of the
good.
Moon. Yeah.
Oh.
All
Isn't
right.
Curse of the Moon in Igavania though? Oh no, Curse
No.
of the Moon. Never mind. That's never mind.
All right.
That's the 8-bit.
Let's get the hell out of this debate, Caden. I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, we are back from our break. That debate had some like weird aggro vibes, so I just want to reiterate to the audience that like everyone here loves both these games. We love the old school and the new school Zelda. I mean, Jonah's over here with the creepy Majora's Mask over his shoulder and the Master Sword and the Hylian shield on the wall. Wes has got his Hylian emblem t-shirt. I've got this really cool, cheesy King Zora shirt. He's saying,
Oh my god, that is so good.
yeah, just clearing the air, clearing the vibes, and it's time to move on to our next segment, the pitch, wherein a number of our panelists will be tasked with pitching a game they've been playing for 2 minutes, and the rest of the panelists will decide if they're buying or not. Since Steven has not actually been with us on the podcast since we started doing the pitch, we're going to give him the honor of going first. So let me know when you're ready, Steven, and I will give you a countdown.
Ready to go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Well, we're actually not done talking about Zelda,
Oh
surprisingly.
my god.
Because if you've been feeling that open world, Breath of the Wild itch, well, I've got a game for you. Maybe not the game for you, but a game. And I'm talking about Immortals Fenyx Rising. Terrible name, I understand. Gods and Monsters, much better name. So Immortals Fenyx Rising has some really interesting ideas hampered by Ubisoft's flair. Which is to say, it has a really cool looking open world, and it has some diet Zelda shrines in them. Unfortunately, what it tried to fix about Breath of the Wild, which was to improve the combat specifically, it also shot itself in the leg because the enemies can be cheesed so easily once you learn to run and attack and upgrade a running attack ability that you don't actually have to engage in the combat at all. it also suffers from the usual Ubisoft go find every single quest marker and then you're way too powerful and you just like look on the map and there's just a million things for you to do.
30 seconds.
That's super enjoyable. It's addictive, don't get me wrong. I think the art style is great for the enemies. The enemies are really fun. Unfortunately, it wears thin, and I only played it for 30 hours, and it was very thin by the end of that 30 hours. But yeah, if you like Diet Zelda, check it out. Turn off the sound because the dialogue's terrible.
Time's up.
And you'll have a good time.
Okay.
Wow.
I like how you brought a game
question.
to pitch and you just crapped on it the entire time.
You're trying to convince us to buy it.
A pitch I figured would be more of like a minute and 30 seconds about what you liked about the game and maybe 30 seconds about your nitpicks, not a minute and 45 seconds about things that were like pretty for you really, and then 15 seconds of but it's all right, I guess.
Oh, man.
Well, at least he was honest with his feelings, you know.
Yeah.
To clarify, I always I'm just that person that is that, I'll neg you because I like you. This is a game that I rated like an 8 out of 10. So I'm doing a cavalcade of its errors for starters. Like what it does right is what a lot of open world games do right. It has an amazing archery set of puzzles. Like that's the one thing that it does that's different from Breath of the Wild.
Oh, so now we're getting into
The
the
one
real
thing?
pitch.
I would say honestly the one thing. The
okay.
bosses. Yeah. And you want to have any other questions? Because I'm not gonna.
You simultaneously answered the two questions I have,
Yeah.
which were number one, what does it do better than Breath of the Wild? And number two, how's the puzzle design? So
Yeah, okay, so the puzzle design is interesting. Again, amazing arrow puzzles. You have like a guided arrow, which is pretty cool, and you'll like maneuver around, and it actually sucks your stamina because you're kind of like you're using magic to guide this arrow. So that's kind of cool. So you learn to like Breath of the Wild, eat some stamina fruit while you're shooting it, so you can continue to guide this arrow. That's like the best of it. Unfortunately, unlike Breath of the Wild, which you felt like you were so freed by its open nature, and when you broke a puzzle, it rewarded you still. Like you won. Like you beat the shrine by breaking it apart and doing it differently. This game is like you stay on the path. If you go off the path, you hit into these lightning bolts and you lose all your stamina. They say never cut corners. And that's the biggest issue with this game is it doesn't let you cut corners. There's a few instances where you can, but usually you might get a 10-second time save or something like that out of it.
So it's like Breath of the Wild by way of Red Dead Redemption 2.
You're on the right track in the fact that yes, like it can be a bit pondering like Red Dead Redemption 2. It's more Breath of the Wild by way of just generic open world game design in the fact that they just keep on adding more. Like I understand Breath of the Wild has 120 shrines. That seems like a lot, but they don't tell you to do them. They tell you to go beat the boss. That's your only goal in Breath of the Wild is beat the boss. Whereas this feels like, no, you have to do these set amount of quests and they tell you to go look around your environment and then you instantly see a bunch of markers. If they didn't tell you to look around the environment and then instantly see all these markers, it would probably be a better game because you would have that sense of discovery. You just don't have that sense of discovery. The main quests are actually pretty fun and they have really cool, unique shrines in them that are like, sort of like, they're not a dungeon. They're kind of like 4 or 3 shrines mushed into one around a central theme, and they're actually pretty cool. But unfortunately, the bosses just don't hold up at the end of them. They're just slightly bigger than an enemy, or 2-3 times as big, but there's no impact. They have no Zelda-like fight to them where I've
They
got to
have no
wait.
large eyeball you have to hit 3 times until they're dead.
And that sounds stupid, right? That sounds dumb because it's like, oh, we've got this combat system. But every Metroid, like Metroid Dread, my God, the boss patterns are absolutely blissful. I hated every single boss the first time I fought them in
I
Metroid
put a
Dread.
1-minute timer on you, Steven.
And then when you learn those patterns, it's just like an absolute ballet. Whereas this game is not a ballet. There's no ballet in sight. It's like, your white uncle dancing in the corner. It's like funny, but it's not particular.
But like in a sad way. Yeah.
Yeah, in a sad way.
All right. Well, you have 40 seconds left that we'll sacrifice to the gods of the timer.
I think the problem you're having here is that Steven just can't be contained by your formats.
He's unbridled
tonight.
But like I said, this is a fun, addictive game if you like puzzles and fighting. It's just not great. It's not going to hit a 9. If you think it's a 9, awesome.
I think it's time for us to go around and decide for buying it. I'll start. What I walked away from with this pitch was that if you've played Breath of the Wild, you're just going to be disappointed the whole time. So I'm not buying this game. I have no interest. What do you think, Wes?
So I actually already own this game. I got it for Christmas last year. I had played it for about 2 hours before I put it down in lieu of something else. I was really hoping that Steven's pitch it wasn't obviously get me to buy the game, but I was hoping that it would get me to pick it back up. Sadly, Steven, I'm not going to be doing that now.
I don't think Steven cares that we're not interested in the game either.
No, I think you're right about that. Yeah. But no, I don't think I'm picking this back up, at least not right away.
All right. Travis, what do you think? You buying this game or not?
No.
Jonah, are you buying this game or not?
I was like really excited because I never had a reason or want to. Yeah, I wanted Steven to convince me, and he's like, okay, and here's every reason why you shouldn't buy this game. Here's every reason why this game is like one of the worst games I've played. So no, I'm not gonna buy the game because
it's an 8 out of 10, Jonah.
Yeah, I want to know like how like. I want to see him pitch a 10 out of 10 game and see how many wrong things are with
Bring Banjo-Kazooie next time.
Hey, I think Banjo-Kazooie is like an 8.5, but it's my favorite game of all time. Like
10 out of 10 personally, 8 out of 5.
Yeah.
8.5 critically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 100%. Cool. So, why don't we toss it right on over to Travis, sir? If you'd please step up to the pitcher's mound and wait momentarily as I reset my timer. Okay, now let me know when you'd like me to count you down.
Anytime.
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm here to talk about another Ubisoft game.
What?
With elements that I don't like so much, but I'm not here to talk about what I don't like at first. So over the last, 5 years or more, so games have, since they went online, always been a way to been kind of a way to hang out with your friends, right? But over the last 5+ years or so, game companies have put more of a focus on that, right? I'm here to talk about the ultimate hangout game, Riders Republic. This is an open world extreme sports game that has biking, snow sports, skiing and snowboarding, and air sports, rocket wings, and wingsuits. Yeah, I had to think of what they were called. And the way that they have integrated the party functions is absolutely incredible. It's streamlined to let you do whatever you want with your friends. You can teleport to people instantly. The loading times in this game are incredible. You can do any event that's on the map with your party members. There are these gigantic mass races, which have 64 people doing 3 races back to back that are multi-sports. So you'll do downhill skiing and downhill biking.
30 seconds.
You'll do, you'll fly a wingsuit through a bridge, and then, at the end of the bridge, you'll switch to a bike and bike to the finish line after that.
Oh, that
and
sounds sick.
they're absolutely crazy, and they happen every half hour. So you're hanging out with your friends, you go ride around in what might be Ubisoft's best
10 seconds.
realized open world ever, and then 8:30 comes up and you're like, let's go do this mass race together, and it's an absolute riot, and you can just talk to your friends
That's
the whole
time.
time.
Wow.
That was see,
Great
Steven,
pitch.
that's how that's how a pitch is supposed to go.
What? Are you sure?
Ubisoft didn't pay Steven enough, dude.
Oh,
I thought a pitch could be a cautionary tale as well.
True.
I hope someone asks me a question about my
Yeah, yeah.
negatives on
So-
Oh, yeah.
because I was not able to do that.
Well, I am curious how the game handles, like, single player, like if you're offline or not playing with other people.
Personally, I find it also to be really fun, partially because I know I'm like advancing my there is gear in the game that you unlock as you level up your player, and it is highly influential on how you do or on how fast you can go and how much you can sprint and things like that. So it's absolutely worth playing through stuff single player, and there's like earning stars is a lot easier in single player, but for the most part I'm playing single player to have a slightly better time when playing multiplayer with my friends.
all right. So
Uh,
I got a question for you, real quick. Have you played any of the Forza Horizon games?
No,
Okay.
I have 5 downloaded.
I was gonna ask you, like, how do these compare? Because
So
I know it's like event based in Forza, but I haven't looked much into Riders Republic, so I wanted to know, because like playing Forza Horizon is just like super free, and you get to do whatever you want whenever you want, and like race to your heart's content and do obstacles and jumps and all sorts of crazy things. So
Yep.
what's this like?
It's just like that. I mean, your friend says, "Hey, I found something cool," and you teleport to them and you ride down the cool thing that they found together.
Dope.
Like, you don't have to go into an event or anything. Like, the open world is sick. Like, I have such a great time just riding around. I have found all the landmarks, and there's a couple other like findable things that were like question marks on the map, and there's of course 500 balloons throughout the world to pop. I only have like 40 of those. So but yeah, like there's tons of freedom, and I mean, if you come across an event while you're riding through the world, you can just pop right into it, which I think, like, I played Burnout Paradise a
Okay.
fair amount.
Yeah.
So like this is like Burnout Paradise but with extreme sports to
Okay.
me. You know
Cool.
what I mean? Because that's what I've played.
All right.
Not Forza, but
I
Sorry,
have
Lex.
two questions. Is that okay? I'll go quick, Steven, and then you can go.
Go for
So
it.
two questions. Number one, how's the jank in the game? And number two, are there any events in the game between all the stuff that you can do that you don't like or that are unenjoyable?
so there, when you like experience lag in events, you just all your momentum stops for a second. Yeah, so that's pretty brutal as far as jank goes. And collision with other players in both the mass races and just like the free for all 12 player events, you'll get rammed right off the road, sometimes. And
Wow.
it's harsh, but it the rest of it is fun enough that I don't mind. And the answer is no. To your other question of, are there any events that I don't enjoy? And the answer is no. Like, specifically, it's something I've commented on multiple times, that a lot of times I think to myself, wow, this event is really fun. And then I think, wow, there haven't really been any events I've been like, I don't like this event. Like, every single thing has been, at least, baseline, pretty darn fun, and getting up to, man, that was really great.
Nice.
Cool.
Thank you.
My question kind of follows on from that in the idea of the mass races. To my understanding, you're playing against interactable ghosts.
No.
No?
So that's in regular in solo
Okay.
events. You are playing against player ghosts, like other players who have done that event. They're ghosts from there. But in the mass race specifically, it's at a set time. It match makes. Everyone gets in.
Okay, cool.
And honestly, I think it's pretty technologically impressive with how fast it loads. Like when you teleport to, a group member, it's like 2 seconds.
Wow.
Like,
Cool.
seriously.
One gripe I heard with reviews was that for a game that really is so heavily stylized in its advertising and very charismatic, that you don't have that much variation in like your outfits and stuff to begin with. And does that affect like those big races in the noise? Like if everyone's wearing the same attire, does that like affect your enjoyment?
At the beginning, it was very tough because everyone was wearing the exact same thing. Yes, but I mean, for my experience, hasn't been that because I've played a lot. I've checked the shop every day. I've completed sponsor contracts, which give you clothes. So I was able to get away from that problem within the first couple of days. The other problem is this game is not charismatic. Actually, the writing is terrible. The soundtrack, I turned the music off almost
Oh, wow.
immediately and
Really?
started doing my own Spotify. Yeah, everything surrounding the gameplay in this game, like not everything, but like the presentation sucks. All the
Oh.
cutscenes are bad. Like, so
we
that's
talk-
why I wanted someone to ask me about like bad stuff because, like,
Yeah.
in my opinion, other like I'm through most of the career stuff, so I don't have to deal with the cutscenes or anything anymore, which thank God. But I'll tell you about a line literally from the credits, and this will tell you how bad the writing was. So there's the main guy who's like the old veteran and his like protege, Suki and Brett. And Suki is like,
Brett.
and doing this kind of thing is totally high key, period. And then Brett is like, and that's high key as opposed to low key, right? And this is just
What?
emblematic of the entire like game.
Yeah.
The writing is
Yeah.
it is the most how do you do fellow kids thing that I've ever experienced in my entire life. So if you can't deal with those things, don't get it. Like, honestly.
It's always funny when you see that like Facebook sort of has like the 3-year-old Reddit memes that like migrated to Twitter and then they finally get to Facebook, and that's what a lot of video game writing like memery like ends up being, because like that's where they finally saw that meme is like on Facebook like 4 years late. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And I just want to finish on music. So I've also had an issue with Ubisoft game, which I had to turn the music off, which was the first Watch Dogs had a deplorable like music selection on their radio. So like, is there a particular reason? Is it just dull? Is it B-sides? Or is it just like just not music that you like particularly?
I mean, it's got like 4 songs by The Offspring, Black and Yellow,
Hey, I'm
an
in.
absolutely terrible cover of Gangsta's Paradise,
Oh,
like
no.
an Ice-T song, like it, like Charles, who I play this game with for the most part, Charles McGregor, just complains about the soundtrack all the time. He's like, oh man. Like one time we did this 12-minute long race and it was the cover of Gangsta's Paradise that he hated that was playing, and he was like, God, I really hope this doesn't loop once it finishes. And ladies and gentlemen, it did.
Well,
Oh,
It
wow.
absolutely did.
wow.
So yeah, I just pull up Spotify when I'm playing with friends, and I pull up VODs of professional Valorant matches when I'm playing by myself. Like,
Wow. Do they have any charismatic DJs like SSX3 or anything like that, or?
don't know.
Oh wow.
Turn it off.
I mean, if the writing's as good as he says it is, I don't think they will.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. Like, basically any part of the presentation in that way that I could turn off, gone. Like,
Yeah.
poof.
And that's on facts, guys.
Yeah, no cap. No cap.
All right. I think it's time for the panelists to decide if we're buying this game or not. Travis.
I love this
recommend-
game, by the way. Let me
Yeah,
just
yeah.
we've been negative.
the
I've been
gameplay,
pretty
the
negative
gameplay.
on it for a while, but I'm having a good time. It's probably going to be my game of the year.
I think we should
Wow.
say, are we gonna cop or drop?
Well,
Cap or no cap. Yeah.
when I was a zygote in my mother's womb, my parents were walking down the street and they knocked over an old gypsy woman and didn't help her up. So she pointed her gnarled stick-like finger at my mother's womb and said, "I curse your child. He shall never enjoy any sports-related video game ever in his entire life." So it's gotta be a no from me.
Have you ever played Rocket League?
Okay, there's an asterisk on the curse, except Rocket League.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
Shout out to Hunter Pearson, King of Rocket League.
I obviously I'm a little bit disappointed with the music selection because obviously for me Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 was so formative for me with sports and music in general. But from what I've seen of this game, other than the kind of weird jank of seeing and obviously it was early days, but seeing 50 or 40 races that all have an orange jacket,
Yeah,
was a bit weird. But
especially when there's orange pads that you have to weave your way through in some of the races. Imagine that.
yeah.
Couldn't be me.
But I'm actually looking forward to this game. I don't know if I'll probably pick it up on sale, but it looks really cool, especially the switching just being super quick. I guess they kind of picked that up from was that the Crew that they picked that up from, just switching from car to boat to all that sort of stuff. So it just looks cool.
People have said this is their culmination of the work they did with the Crew and Steep, of put together. They this is what they've been trying to do for years, and they finally did it.
Yeah.
My God, they've done it.
And
Cool.
didn't at the same time, it seems.
Wes, you buying?
So I got a Ubisoft game for Christmas last year, and I think I'm gonna ask for a Ubisoft game for Christmas this year. So I will let my wife buy it for me.
Have you touched
Hit me
Valhalla yet?
I have it. I still have it loaded on the PS5. I have not played it. But I am interested in this game. Everything I've seen of it looks really cool. The gameplay looks cool. It looks fun. I was really impressed with the kind of GoPro
First person camera.
first person over the mountain biking, over the tire and stuff. That looked awesome. Very impressive.
I do first person when I wingsuit.
Yeah, I've seen some video
that
of that
sounds
too. It
intense.
looks pretty cool.
Dude, you get more points based on how close you are to things, and your heartbeat gets quicker the closer that you are. So you're actually best off kind of using this audio cue to tell how close you are to things more than anything.
I wonder
That's
if
cool.
I wonder if you can feel that in the DualSense. Oh,
I wish it had DualSense integration because that is what I'm playing it with on PC.
are you? Oh, okay. Wes, if you get it for Christmas, you're gonna have to see if
I'll let you
it's
know
on
how the
PS5.
DualSense is if I
So,
pick it up on PS5.
Jonah, are you picking this game up? Got a no on sale, and I'll let my wife buy it for me. So
See, I'm on the fence because like you, I'm not much of a sports fan, but I really liked Forza Horizon 4.
Mhm.
So,
But are you just gonna play Forza 5 instead?
yeah, you're probably right. Sorry, Travis.
But seriously, Travis, you said game of the year, straight up?
For me, yeah. I mean,
Wow,
because
that's amazing.
honestly,
The gameplay, yeah.
games are so much for me like the way that I spend time with my friends.
Yeah.
And Valorant didn't come out this year.
Mm, I gotcha.
I've got almost like 1,000 hours in Valorant since like April.
Oh
Like,
my God.
That's impressive.
Oh man, I wish I could get
I don't
back
know
on
if
with you
that's the
guys.
word I would use, man. But yeah. Well,
Hey.
thanks for coming to my TED Talk about why I love this game, and you'll probably hate it.
Very cool.
I think it sounds great. So I'm looking forward to trying it myself.
Please hit me up when you get it. I would love to play.
Is there
It's
crossplay
full
on it?
crossplay.
You
It's
show me the
full
ropes.
crossplay. It is full crossplay.
I'm more intrigued. I like to support games that have crossplay.
And Charles McGregor has actually. I've been asking him if he thinks that this is the worst sports game, like extreme sports game soundtrack he's ever heard, and he can't think of anything worse. So it is that
Alright.
bad. Yeah.
Did you play Steep
Alright.
at all? Just curious.
I didn't. He did. And the controls are not like that close to Steep as according to people who played Steep. So that's all I can tell you, really.
Okay. Does
how are we doing? Oh, sorry, Jonah.
I was just curious. Does anybody know? Oh, there he is. I was wondering where Steven went.
Yeah, you just had to take a little wee wee.
You
No big
okay,
deal.
buddy? You back?
Are you recording now? Or?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Yeah, we've been talking the whole time. No big deal. Jonah, how are we doing on time? Do we have enough time for another pitch, or should we move on? What do you
Yeah,
what do you say?
we're good on time. We're good on time.
Okay, cool. Well, my man Jonah, you're next up to the pitcher's mound. Give me 1 second. Let me know when you're ready for me to count you down.
Let's go straight into it, baby.
3, 2, 1, go.
How do you guys feel about elf-like beings with cool game mechanics and a fresh hand-drawn art style and
Okay.
a nice pleasant soundtrack with cool the 3 cool characters you get to control all at the same time? I am bringing Greak to the table today, a game that I was a little bit on the fence but decided to pick up anyway because that art style just sold me that much, and once I started playing it, I actually it dug its hooks into me. It feels like a nice combination between something similar to, I guess, like an old school Castlevania and something with more of like an indie twist to it, I should say. You play as the main character, which is a young boy named Greak, and then his sister and his brother. I haven't played it in 2 weeks, so I can't remember what their names are, but they're super cool. Greak is just a little sword wielding kid. He's super fast and he dashes and slashes essentially.
30 seconds.
His sister uses magic and she can float. And then the oldest brother has a long sword and a shield and a hook shot grappling hook thing, and you just solve puzzles, and the combat's really good, and you're collecting items and stuff. And that's all I've got. You guys can ask me questions now.
Beautiful. Man, I don't I've seen this game and I somehow missed the whole main gameplay mechanic of switching between 3 characters, and now I'm way more intrigued. It does sound very I think there's I don't remember, maybe it's Castlevania 3 or something. One of the old ones, you could switch characters, I think, and then
Yeah,
Portrait
3,
of Ruin.
Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. You can switch
Yeah,
characters.
so I mean that's cool. Do the other characters you're not controlling do anything, or are they just kind of hanging out until you switch to them?
So it's hard to explain. You kind of have to see it, but if a character's relatively close to you, you can hold the right trigger and you'll call them to you and they can huddle up. Or you can hold down the left trigger. I switched it to toggle because I felt like holding it down was a little awkward. But it's called like the mimic button, and so all the characters will do the same thing, which is like you can jump, double jump,
Oh.
and like all attack at the same time, and it's super cool because if you're fighting enemies or you come across enemies, whichever of the three characters you're picking, you control their attacks, and then the other ones that are in that follow will auto attack. And it's not like, oh, I'm gonna shoot a fireball. It's like, I'm gonna spam you with attacks until you die. Like the AI is pretty smart. It's just like, you get in my radius and then I'm gonna destroy you however I can. And it's cool because there was like one boss fight I was trying to be all strategic with, and I was like, you know what, we're just gonna group up. We're gonna use like enhancements on all of the weapons that my party had, and then we all just like bum rushed the boss, and we killed him in like 4 seconds. So I mean, it was pretty cool because they're just auto
So
attacking.
yeah, it's like you're not actually just swapping characters. You're literally like controlling.
Yeah, you
two
can
characters
control
at
3
once in a way.
characters at the
Okay.
same time and swap
Wow, that's
between
pretty
them
crazy.
to solve puzzles and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You sort of half answered this, but I guess I'll I guess get you to extrapolate on it. But I fell off after like the first couple areas in this game. I found the first like boss to be pretty unforgiving and not, I guess, possibly having like the best tells. Like how did the bosses evolve? Do they become I guess are they did you feel that the difficulty was fair? Obviously you said you absolutely took out a boss in 4 seconds, but like how was the difficulty in all the bosses?
I think I honestly I got really lucky with that one. Like I kind of cheesed him. I switched to the sister and I was just spamming him with spells, and then he finally got close enough to us that the two brothers could just spam attack, and I had his health bar like lowered a little bit, and by the time we got there it was just like watching like the chunks go down really fast down the bar.
You had all 3 characters at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
I think I had just gotten the older brother when I was doing that boss fight. I mean the narrative of the game it's a little like cliche. It's like, oh, we got a darkness fell over the forest, so we got to do what we can to protect people and save it. But it also like it feels kind of weighted, and you like will watch characters die, and it's pretty emotional because you see it reflect on other NPCs and stuff in the story.
How did you feel about inventory management in this game?
I got as many of the backpack upgrades as I could at the beginning, but yeah, inventory management is a little can be a little rough. You're pretty limited, and I think that's one spot that they could work on, because you have to switch between each character if you're trying to craft a recipe. You're basically just picking up like berries and herbs and stuff, and you can use those to make like Breath of the Wild style cooking. You put 3 things in a thing, and then it comes out with food, and you can use it to heal yourself. But there's also like sellable items that you can pick up, and sometimes those will take up your inventory slots. The nice thing about the game is if you pick up key items, they just add an additional pocket for that key item, so it doesn't take up inventory, which is nice.
Cool. Any other questions?
Oops, Travis, I think you're on mute.
You get another permanent upgrade for finding a key item?
No,
Or it just says that it goes away when that key item
it goes away when that key item goes away.
Okay.
But you can buy backpack upgrades and stuff. And you can also do like challenge courses to like upgrade health or find different things. They've got little upgrades and stuff that you can find.
So okay, my question is, how does it feel to play?
It's
That game feel.
it. I personally think it feels good. It takes a while to get used to the controls. It's a little confusing at first. And I could definitely see that being a reason why Steven fell off of it pretty early on. But like I said, I had to go in and you can fully remap the controls and switch things to toggle if you want. And I had to switch the mimic to toggle because I felt like holding it down was uncomfortable. But I think the game feels good. I think the combat feels like satisfying enough to be enjoyable. I'm not gonna say it's the best combat I've ever felt in a side-scrolling game, but it feels pretty good, and the platforming feels solid, except for the brothers grappling hook. It's a little wonky, but I mean you do get you can manage it pretty all right.
All right. Well, I think we have enough information to decide. For me personally, this game sounds like really unique and cool. So,
It
you
is.
know, I think I'm kind of, it sounds like right up my alley. So, it's definitely on my radar now. I think I'm going to be picking it up. What do you think, Wes?
So I beat this game already earlier this year.
Oh, sick.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. It's not a super long game, so you can cruise through it in 6 to 7 hours and be done.
Perfect.
But my biggest criticism, I think, with it is that you spend all this time kind of like you start out as the main character Greek, and you are looking for your siblings, and you find your sister, and then you have to go and find your brother. And by the time that you find your brother, you have about an hour of the game left. So
Ah,
you really don't have a lot of time spent with all three siblings together working in tandem. Um, so I felt that, they could have padded it out a little bit longer in that sense. But otherwise, it's a really good game. It looks really great. I think that the platforming feels really good. Greek's got a double jump. That feels really nice. His sister, like Jonah mentioned, has like a floating mechanic. Um, it takes some getting used to flipping through the characters, like he said.
mm,
But generally speaking, I think it's a good game. I think it's worth checking out if it sounds interesting.
cool.
Wes
Thanks,
must be
Steven.
like a master of these kinds of games because I'm at about 8 hours and he absolutely flew through this game.
I mean, the man loves his
It's
Metroidvanias.
He
it's
does.
funny. It's funny because you mentioned that boss. I think it's the first boss that you fight with the brother,
Yeah.
and that you just creamed him.
Yeah.
I beat
He
that
killed
boss.
me several times. He killed me several times. Like he wasn't
Yeah,
a pushover. I just got lucky that one time that I killed
I
him.
beat that boss by exploiting the AI.
Mm,
I was able to, because you're on there's two levels,
Mm-hmm.
like an upper level and a lower level, and so I was able to jump up to the upper level, and he would try to jump up to get me, and as he would jump over, I'd hit him and I'd fall back down, and then he would jump down and I'd hit him again and jump back up, and he'd jump back up, and I was just able to do that in a loop, and he never hit me and he died. It was
yeah,
the best example I've had in a long time of just exploiting enemy AI, and
nice.
it
If you
worked so
don't
well.
cheese that boss, it does feel really intense.
Yeah. Well, I like the cheese. What can I say?
Oh yeah.
Give me the cheddar.
Oh, well, I guess we know your answer, Steven. You did buy the game, but you dropped it off.
Yeah, I was trying to see if this would reignite my passion for it, but unfortunately, hearing about the inventory management early in the game, it is really kind of annoying that you're really stunted because all you want to do is oh cool, I'll make some potions and stuff like that, and then you sort of realize that I can only hold a certain amount of veggies or whatever it is to make these potions. So then you have to drop certain ones. So then you've got 3 of one kind of each, as many as you can, but you still can't even hold the amount of veggies that you see on the map. So it was kind of annoying. And yeah, I hadn't really delved into. I only just got the sister, and so I hadn't really delved into the dual mechanics. But I was instantly like, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this game. So yeah, the art style is beautiful, but I don't know if I'm going to pick it up again.
Fair
It
enough.
reminds me very much of Hollow Knight in terms of the
Yeah.
kind of like hand drawn aesthetic
Mhm.
of the game.
Speaking
Looks
my
really nice.
language.
Yeah.
What do you think, Travis? You picking it up?
Probably not. I'm really bad at character switching. Like,
Okay, yeah.
it took me, I don't know, 60 hours of Final Fantasy VII Remake to like really be switching between my characters effectively. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's a lot of the I'm sorry, a lot of the character switching isn't necessarily on the fly. Maybe in some boss battles it kind of is necessary, but it's not like, oh, you have to switch to this character, then switch to that one, and then just like going back and forth super fast to try and do it. It's mostly, I'm gonna switch to this character so they can step on this switch, and then I'm gonna have them have this other character go up to this platform over here, switch back, hit the bell, and then switch to the other character so they can get across. So it like the puzzles are done really well in this game. I understand if that doesn't change your mind. I was just saying it's not like super reflex based character switching with this game like it kind of is in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
yeah, probably still no.
All
It
right.
works.
And with that, I will turn things over to Wes for my favorite part of the show, the game.
All right, so we're bringing it back to video game 20 questions. Steven,
Woo.
I don't know, have you been on the game or been on the show since we switched how we do the game?
No, I haven't been on it with the lightning round, but I
Cool.
understand what it is.
Okay, yeah. So, just so everybody's clear, you have 20 questions to guess the video game, working in tandem together. You have to take turns, so the turn order will be Travis, Jonah, Caden, Steven. Travis, Jonah, Caden, Steven. After 7 questions, I will. So you have 20. Sorry, I should say you have 20 seconds to ask a question. If you don't ask a question in 20 seconds, you lose your question and it moves on to the next person. So that's how we keep it moving. After 7 questions, I'll give you guys a minute to kind of convene together and talk strategy, and then we'll keep going again. You have another 7 questions. If you haven't made a guess by then, you can reconvene, and then at the end, I'll give you 1 more minute to guess the game. So, everybody clear?
Yeah.
Do it.
Can we guess the game before that final minute?
You can,
You
but you
can.
Insane.
But if you get it wrong, everybody loses.
Yeah, we got one
So,
chance.
you have
as
one
as a
shot.
team.
we
So
work
you have
out
to
the
make-
game.
if I use my first question to guess a game, then everyone's gonna hate me.
Yeah.
As long as,
Exactly.
as long
I mean, if
as
you're
you're
okay
wrong,
with that.
Okay.
you know. All right, are we ready?
Yes.
I'm
All right,
nervous.
Travis, you are kicking things off.
Did this game come out before 2005?
Yes.
Oh.
Jonah.
Was this game on the Super Nintendo?
No. Caden.
Is this game 3-dimensional?
Yes. Steven.
Is this game multi-platform?
No. Sorry. Go ahead.
Is this game on PlayStation 2?
Yes.
Heyo.
Jonah.
Does this game have painted art style?
No. Caden.
Is this game a JRPG?
No. That's 7.
Okay.
I'll give you
Okay.
1 minute to talk
Let
amongst
me
yourselves.
let me recap for you guys. We know it's
Console
a console exclusive PS2 3D game that came out before 2005. That's not JRPG.
I was thinking Okami. That's why I asked the hand painted art style.
Now, like, I don't know how recently Wes decided on the game, but Metal Gear Solid 2 just had its anniversary, 20-year anniversary.
I should have asked if it was Japanese still, but I guess that'd be like every game on the PS2 pretty much.
Yeah.
But obviously, PS2 has the biggest library of like most gaming systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't now because of how many digital games there are, but yeah.
I did want to ask if it was a first-party game, so
Yeah.
yeah.
But
That would help with the Metal Gear Solid idea as well, right?
Yeah.
But that's Konami, so it's not.
Oh, you're right.
Hey, all right, that's a minute. So, bringing it back. I believe, Steven, you are kicking things off. So, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, is this game developed by a Japanese studio?
No,
Oh.
Travis.
Is this an open world game?
What?
Is it an open world game?
PS2.
PS2?
Not. That's a hard question to answer, actually. Semi-open world, I will say.
Okay.
So it's not a yes or no answer, but I will say semi-open world.
All
right.
GTA.
Jonah.
Did this game come out at the end of the PS2 lifecycle?
Trying to remember what the end of the PS.
Like before
2005,
PS3?
No.
It came out after the PS3?
No, I said it was not at the end of the PS2's
Oh, okay.
life cycle.
Okay.
Caden.
Is this a sports game?
No, I would not consider it a sports game. No. Steven.
Oh man, I have no idea where this is going. Okay, so it's yep. Thinking. My hat is on. Shit, I don't know.
Just ask if it has Grand Theft Auto in the title.
Hey. No collaboration. 5 seconds.
No, it's not exclusive. Oh, I don't know any PS2 games.
Okay,
Just
that's
say
20
something.
seconds. You lost your
All right.
question.
All right.
Sorry,
No.
Travis.
I don't know.
What you doing?
Is there... Do you play as a human being?
Huh.
Oh boy.
That feels like it should be pretty cut and dry.
I'm going to say. This is hard. You play as a human character.
What?
You select a character that is a human being,
Okay.
and that's the end of question 14. So you got another minute to convene. Go
Sorry, I
ahead.
dropped the ball, lads.
This game.
I've got.
Okay.
I don't know any Western PS2 games.
Why
I
is
think
it so hard to like decide if you play as a human being or not? That's really gonna throw me off.
Yeah, but
Okay. So,
yeah. What's a
Can we
Western
think of-
PS2 game?
yeah. Can we think of any Western PS2 exclusives that aren't a sports game?
Well,
I like.
you
I-
said
I
Grand
like
Theft Auto, but
Um,
you don't select a character in Grand
are
Theft
the
Auto.
twisted metal game? Because when he said, did he say yes to sports or no to sports?
You said no to
No.
sports.
So is racing included in sports?
But
But
that
it's
was
not
twist
racing.
up.
It's
But it's
not
not
really-
racing. It's car combat, so it's not racing. So Twisted Metal Black, maybe? Like,
Oh.
Yeah. Could be.
I don't know who
there's-
developed that though. I don't no
Like,
idea.
I don't
Like
think that
there's-
was a Japanese developer.
Is Jack from Jack and Daxter a human being, or is he like a weird?
But is there character selection in that?
Jack
Alright, that's the end of a minute.
Oh my
is
god.
racing.
So, let's see. I'm sorry. Who did we leave off on?
It's not a
It's
human being.
Jonah.
It's Jonah.
All right, Caden, why
Yeah.
don't you kick us off? Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Is it a fighting game?
No.
Is it a car combat game?
Yes.
Shit. Okay.
Travis.
Does it have metal in the name?
It does.
Does it have black in the name?
It does.
Send it home, Caden.
2 questions left.
I will concede our remaining 2 questions, and I will ask: is this game Twisted Metal Black?
It's Twisted Metal Black!
Good job,
Yay!
Steven.
Oh my god.
Wow,
You
yeah.
got it. Congratulations.
I give that one to Steven because, yeah, I was already steering away from car games. So.
Yeah.
You always have to ask the "Do you play as a human?" question in video games 20 questions.
That one's a tough one because technically, I mean, your character
I
is a
see your
human,
confusion now.
but you're really only controlling the car. So,
well, if I asked you that question about Rocket League, what would you say?
I have no idea if there are characters in Rocket League.
How big are the cars? How big is the ball?
Oh,
I don't know. I've never played Rocket League.
Aren't they remote control cars?
Is that the lore?
They look like remote control cars to me.
Boy, I'm glad I didn't pick Rocket
League. There's dots in the audience, right? There's, like spheres in the audience. And speculation is those spheres are also inside the cars.
Oh, God. Jesus. What the fuck?
Who knows, though, man? Who knows?
God.
Well, thank you so much for orchestrating that game, Wes. It's always a pleasure. I'm glad that we didn't let ourselves down.
Fun. That was very fun.
Yeah, nice job. That was kind of a more random pick for me.
Yeah.
So good job getting it.
All right. Well, we made it, guys. We're here. It's
Somehow
the end
we
of the
made
podcast. Yeah. We'd like to thank you, Travis, for taking time out of your day to be on with us. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much for having me. As you could all tell, I have a lot of PPE, pent up pod energy. So but thanks for helping me get that out. This was so much fun. You guys are great.
All right. We will quickly go around for final thoughts from everyone. We'll let you go first, Travis, as the guest. Anything that you want to plug at all? Any random thoughts you're having, just go for it.
Go watch Arcane. Even if you I don't know anything about League of Legends, neither does my wife, and I think it's so good. It might be the best video game related property that's not a video game that I've seen.
Better than Castlevania, the Castlevania anime?
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
okay.
And I think Castlevania is amazing.
Okay.
Before this, I would have said that. So,
okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
And hopefully we got an episode of the Draft Punks podcast dropping sometime in the next, week to 2 weeks.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I've been on a Draft Punks drought.
I know, me too, man. Got nothing to listen to.
All right, Steven, now that you've been reunited with us, final thoughts.
Yeah, I guess obviously it's nice to be back, and my only advice to everyone out there is don't be like Majora's Mask Link. Don't catfish people, Pete. All
right? Wes, final thoughts.
I'd just like to personally take a second to apologize to Travis for his getting interrupted during his debate. So that was bad form, and we don't stand for that kind of nonsense here at the Great Game Debate. So I apologize. My final thoughts is just check out Draft Punks. They're awesome. They have an awesome show. There's a ton of great episodes to go back and listen to. And they have an awesome Discord, so check them out.
I mean, and if you're a fan of this show, both Caden and Jonah have been on, so you can check out their episodes in particular, and we will have to have Wes and Steven on sometime.
Heck yeah.
That'd be great.
If you want your podcast episode to go for 4 hours long,
right.
The last time we had somebody with a heavy accent on, we did an episode about swear words that were all beeped out. So I'm sure we can find something else to do.
Final thoughts, Jonah?
Travis, it was awesome having you, man. I really appreciate it. You just coming in and letting off a little bit of that PPE steam, It was fun to have you. It was fun to hear you join in on Steven's tangents, It's been well missed, Steven. I know I've given you a bunch of crap this episode, but it's cuz I missed you and I love you, man. So I'm super happy that we got the gang back together now. Just a quick bit of housekeeping. The last game club has come and gone, so we won't be doing game club anymore for 2021, but it will be back in 2022. We still need to figure out a date when we're going to do that, and we will be picking our poster winner for this glorious Doom Eternal poster from Crossmack Art. And yeah, we still got Secret Santa up, and I think there's gonna be, by the time this comes out, there's only gonna be like 1 week left to join in, so please do. And give a gift and get a gift, have some fun, share some love, be kind to everyone, let's go.
Beautiful message. As always, I've been your host, Katie Birthday Lane. You can find us at YouTube at Great Game Debate channel, and our Discord is the Great Game Debate, and our Twitter is at Great Game Debate, spelled DEB8. And you can find a link to our Discord to join in the fun at any of those places or any of our personal Twitter accounts. But my final thought is go to neuralblender.com and just have some fun. And anyway, happy gaming. Bye.
Bye.
As always, a big thank you to our friend Misdriven for the music in our podcast. If you like what you hear and you want to check out more of what they have, you can pay them a visit on Twitter at MIST_RIVEN 719 or on Bandcamp at Misdriven. Thanks again for tuning in. Till next time.